I am back and ready to watch episode 7 of The Haunting of Bly Manor. This one is titled The Two Faces Part 2. So, The Two Faces Part 1 was a Peter Quint and Rebecca Jessel flashback episode. So I assume this is also going to be a Peter and Rebecca-centric episode, but it's probably not going to be as much of a flashback episode. It's probably going to be centering itself around Peter and Rebecca, I guess, discovering that they're both possessing one of the children and, I don't know, coming up with some kind of plan on what exactly they're going to do with this information. And I'm very concerned for the children. I would be more concerned for Rebecca. If I cared more about her, two things about her bother me, one less than the other. The one thing that's bothering me, it's not that she got into the relationship. It's that during her life, she was letting the relationship with Peter Quint overshadow her job, which, if it was any job other than caring for children in a near parental capacity, I wouldn't mind. But the fact of the matter is, she's a surrogate mother for these children right now, and I need you to stop paying more attention to this abusive man and pay more attention to the children that you're literally being paid to care for. But more so than that, it's specifically the scene where he was trying to convince her to come away with him to America, and I refuse to believe that she didn't understand that he was saying he was going to steal shit from them. I'm absolutely sure. Because if she didn't understand that, then she's just outright stupid, and we've seen a lot of her character, and there's nothing to imply that she's stupid. I guarantee she was picking up what he was putting down in that scene, and she definitely knew that they were going to steal this family's money, which, okay, and just ditch the children, which, if you want to do that, first, I need you to show me that the money is being gained inappropriately, the money is being spent inappropriately, or, I don't know, you would do something so significantly better with the money. I'm all for Robin Hood, but this is just a shitty man stealing money from another shitty man, and a woman just going, well, that sounds good to me, if I get it. Like, okay, it's certainly not the worst thing that anyone's ever decided to do, but it doesn't make me sympathetic towards her. Especially since every time he brings up, I would be sympathetic to the class thing if he wasn't using it specifically as a manipulation tactic. So the second it comes out of his mouth in that capacity, I have to throw it out the window. I don't even know that he genuinely believes that. I don't think it's anything to do with the fact that he can't get ahead in the British system of nobility. I think it's just that he thinks he's such a narcissist that he thinks he deserves to be at the top. And since it's the British system that's holding him back, he's just going to take shit because he's special. He's not trying to argue that inequality is like integral to capitalism or the British system of nobility or anything like that. He's genuinely just arguing, they have it and I should, so I will take it. Which is not a sympathetic argument in any capacity, and I'd look sideways at any woman who goes, yeah, that sounds good. It doesn't sound good. A poor man being greedy is just as bad as a rich man being greedy. The only difference is which one has managed to get the thing they're being greedy over. So, throughout the show, I haven't gotten the feeling that we're supposed to be treating her as a villainous character, but so far everything she's doing strikes me as villainous. I have some space for sympathy when it comes to her possession of Flora. I assume that she is trying to recapture life by virtue of possessing Flora. However, the fact of the matter is, I don't care at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your motive is, you are abusing the child. In a very magical fashion, but still child abuse nonetheless. So I can only take her as a sympathetic figure so far, and to be perfectly honest, she did bad shit she did, like, at the very least, morally gray things when we saw her alive, and now she's doing even darker morally gray things now that she's dead, and I don't really have space for Miss Jessel not being kind of a villainous character, which I don't know. I mean, maybe that is what I'm supposed to be getting out of this, but that doesn't strike me as what we're doing here. It strikes me as when Hannah describes her as, you know, a woman that was brought down by a bad man. That's what I think, so far at least, that the show is trying to communicate, that she was a good woman trying to get ahead, who was pulled into the you know, gravity of just a very charismatic abuser and corrupted by him. And that's, I don't buy that. I don't think it's a corruption at all. I think it's truly just she met someone who invited her to be her worst self, who gave her permission to be the worst parts of herself. And now that she's dead, she's still doing it. And now that she's about to meet up with Peter again, I can only imagine that it's going to get worse. So I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and get into this episode. I don't know that I have any good predictions for this one, other than the fact that I'm worried Danny might be dead. I'm gonna keep a close eye on Danny to see if she made it through Miles's attack, or if Danny's gonna be one of the ghosts of Bly Manor now. Alright, so let's get this started. I don't know, I'm trying to think of whether the face could have anything, the erosion of the face could have anything to do with the metaphor of Bly Manor as a glue trap. And I'm not coming up with anything. The thing that I am coming up with right now is the idea of the eyes as the window to the soul concept. With the eyes being grown over by skin, maybe there's something to do there with flesh versus soul. I don't know. We haven't come to any real answers, so I'm just making things up at this point.
Why not? She's our friend.
Are they talking to Rebecca?
I think she'd feel better if you told her this yourselves.
Yourselves. Okay, so it is Rebecca and Peter? Oh, and the other thing that I wanted to say is I was thinking last night about the title. So I read the title of this one at the end of the last episode. And I was thinking that at the end of the Two Faces Part 1, I had been wondering, what are the Two Faces? What's, like, is it just a reference to being, like, two-faced? Because if that had been the Miles-centric episode, I would have understood. But instead it was the Two Faces, and it was about Rebecca and Peter, and I really should have picked up at that point that was a hint towards the possession. There's two faces. We're seeing, it's literally that the Miles and the Flora we've seen throughout the whole thing are each two people. It's Flora is Flora and Rebecca, and Miles is Miles and Peter. Two faces. I'm stupid. Oh dear.
Sometimes right can seem wrong and wrong can seem right. But that's the difference between children and adults.
You guys really needed to have done a better job communicating to this little boy that this grown man was a fucking threat. Just a bad person.
Well, I mean it. Well, I mean.
Is that she's hearing Hannah?
Vex, you're slipping. Vex, you're slipping. Stay with me, Vex. Vex!
Interesting.
He's hopping away. What should we do?
Let him go. Okay, so we are going to do some flashbacks.
He sent you, didn't he?
You know, he'd kill you if he could. For what you did to him.
For what I did to him.
He says it all the time.
I'm going to go with, I don't know the context here, but I'm going to go with get the fuck out.
I didn't want to have to turn to your father.
After all he did.
No, you're definitely trying to emotionally blackmail him.
Together, did you?
Which, probably where he learned it.
How odd, him not knowing.
I'm fully alright if you just kill her.
Any money, Mum.
Oh, you're not a rich man, Petey.
No.
just work for one, do you? Forgive me if I misread.
So this jackass has the nerve to run around and start trying to convince her that all our problems in the whole wide world are just because I don't have any money. No, your problems are because you, like most of us, are broken from evil parents. Okay, I see you.
He just said to pack a bag.
Pack a bag.
Yes. That we were going to America together.
Sounds lovely.
All he said was that he had a plan and that we would live in the States together.
Girl, you
This all made sense to you.
either are minimizing in the aftermath, or you were being willfully
Not like
stupid.
you're saying.
We told Hannah and the policeman, but they didn't believe us.
Didn't believe what, Miles?
About the monster.
I do still think it's actually a ghost of a person.
He told me to tell you not to worry. So don't worry.
Please tell me she didn't actually kill herself to be with this worthless piece of shit. Alright, hold on. I don't know if you can hear this lawnmower that has just arrived beneath my window. Go away, please.
This is going to upset you.
Upset? Oh, I'm much more than just upset.
Please just hold out your hand.
What? Why?
Just hold out your hand.
Please don't tell me he possesses her and drowns her.
What's the one thing, the only thing, that would ever keep me from you?
I hate him.
You still down here? You all right? I'm worried for you, love.
Well, not everything has a half-life, does it?
Ooh, interesting. Okay, the concept of half-lives, the concept of a half-life would actually tie in pretty well to the idea of the ghosts without faces being so old that they're like decaying away. Now I hope that's right, because that's a really good fun little tie-in. Like the ghost is like past its like first half-life and the face is gone, and then it'll continue having until it's just disappeared completely.
What if we still did it?
And what?
Went to America.
See, exactly. This is my point.
We do it anyway, and people can think I'm some batty old Brit who talks to thin air, but at least we'd be together.
I can't leave Bly. I can't get past the end of the drive.
In other words, he's already tried to leave you. I need you to catch on to the implication that he has said he's tried to leave. Why? I don't know why you would ever assume that if he could get out of this place, he would still be there with you.
You're right here, and I can hear you, and I
got to
can
be
see you. Quiet, Bex.
Great. Now look what you've done. I swear to God, if he drives her body into this fucking lake, or if he's the reason that she runs into this monster and gets dragged into the lake, honestly, I'm going to be pissed any which way about it. If he's the reason she gets killed in any capacity, if she's the reason he decides to kill herself, I'm going to be pissed.
It didn't work.
Yeah, I was wondering if that's what they were trying to do. I knew she couldn't be dead yet.
He had left her at the boundary of Bly. The boundary impossible to walk through together.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
And though she didn't much like losing time being tucked away, at least she had company there. His company.
I mean, it's a whole thing of, you know, not being able to... It's a paranormal literalization of the metaphor, you know, for not being able to move on, clinging to what you have, clinging to your memories of a person that you've lost. And I would care more if I liked either character involved. I don't like Peter, and I don't like Rebecca. Every time I see Rebecca at this point, I like Rebecca less and less. Oh, I think that is the dress that she dies in. He either kills you himself, or he persuades you to do it.
You trust me.
No.
I
No.
need you to trust me because
No. Fuck. No. No, no,
let's be
no.
together again
Oh, God, you dumbass.
and touch each other
No.
and taste each other.
You're an idiot. Oh, my God. Lady.
That's why
First, if he actually explains himself to her, I'm going to be stunned. Secondly, if he explains himself to her and then she goes along with it, oh, I'm going to lose my mind.
That's why I keep getting pushed out because you didn't invite me in. You just need to decide
Okay, interesting.
that it's forever. I think it's just you and me becoming us.
I don't know. I'm deeply suspicious that it's actually you trying to steal her body and it going horribly wrong. Girl. I will be stunned if he doesn't immediately get into her body and fucking drown her.
He had promised they'd be equals, but she was safe, tucked away in a memory of them, where they could be together. And he was here, alone. And
Yeah,
had spent
he stole your
200
fucking
lives
body.
alone.
And then he's gonna kill you. And I guarantee, if he thought that by stealing her body he could get off the fucking property, he would not have fucking done that. He would have left. He would have kept her body forever. I guarantee it. And since he knows he can't, he's gonna fucking drown her. I hate him. He made this whole big goddamn thing about trying to dress it up as if he was asking for consent. Does she not know that this is the circumstance in which she died? Because if he murdered her and she's still in this abusive relationship, did you just find out something's wrong? Congratulations. Your abuser killed you. Correct reaction. And then somehow you forgave him? Thank you, someone, taking care of the child in an appropriate fashion. We're not going to reason with the child, we're just going to pick the child up, take the child away. Someone should have been watching the child. Unfortunately, the person hired to do that didn't feel like it. She felt like playing with a ghost instead.
Not this one, not this one, please.
Let me show you how beautiful you are.
And that's fun. That's fun. You ruined one of her favorite memories because you fucking used it to distract her while you murdered her. Fun.
I know.
This isn't what you said. It's not what I agreed. I did agree.
Correct. Thank you for realizing that.
I had to.
He had to murder you. He just had to murder you. You were just so murderable.
I had to, so that we could be together.
Son of a bitch!
Well, thank you. Finally, an appropriate reaction. So is this a present-day realization for her? These fucking flashbacks and shit. It's so hard to tell where she is in time. Is she back in time in the present, or is she back in time in time? Because if she's finally reaching her breaking point now, it took too long, but it's a good thing. I mean, have you considered going into this memory and doing something?
Look at this.
Because that would have been my move. If I was trapped in
Look at you.
what I clearly consider like one of my worst memories or something, or at least a pivotal one, I'd have very dramatically changed the memory, let me tell you that.
You killed me, Mum. You killed me asking me to do this. I hope you know that late at night that you killed your own son.
Honey, I don't even know that you're dead.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it right here. I understand I probably should feel some kind of sympathy for the notion that, okay, he seems to be under the impression that he stole the money, or began to steal the money, because he was being fleeced by the woman who enabled his father to sexually abuse him. That's what we get from that scene. I'm gonna talk more later, if I fucking remember, about specifically how well done that was in regards to the experience as an adult survivor of child abuse, coming to the realization that the abuser was one thing, but it's only as an adult that you understand the enabler is genuinely just as bad. We'll get to that. The problem that I'm having with this scene right now, he is expressing that he feels that he's dead because he felt pressured, he felt like he had to get the money for her. Two things there. First and foremost being, I don't believe for a single solitary fucking second that if he had gotten that money, he would have given it to her. And I would wager that since the cop said it seemed like he'd been embezzling for a while, I would wager that it was probably a matter of he has been giving her money for a while, and that the heirlooms were taken with probably some more money for the purposes of fleeing the country. That I have a certain amount of sympathy for. To be perfectly honest, if it was just stealing enough money to get the fuck out of England so he could never, ever, ever risk interacting with his abusers again, good for you. That's not Robin Hood territory, but it's just as good for me. I'm good. Good boy. Good for you. Go ahead. I'm going to finish out the scene, and we'll see if my opinion changes.
You're supposed to warn me.
And if he was even doing any amount of work to not be abusing the people around him, that would be one thing. But he's not. He's just not. He's just a bad person. And I'm sorry for the circumstances of how he became a bad person, but at the end of the fucking day, he's an abuser too. And I don't offer space for that. My ability to care about your hurting ends the second you use your pain to hurt someone else.
Maybe we can wait until...
Wait until what, Bex? Because that's what's going to happen, Bex. This is what will happen, Miles, Flora. You don't want that to happen to us, do you? To Miss Jessel, to me?
No, of course not.
Because this is what happens to everyone who dies here at Bly.
Well, that was disgusting. I hate him so fucking much. And he truly, this is just another fucking example of his only motive is to save his fucking ass. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about any of you. None of you. Rebecca doesn't care about you. Miles, he doesn't care about you. Flora, he doesn't care about you. He cares about himself. If he could leave this place, he would. And he'll do anything to prevent himself from decaying the way these ghosts had. Ha, I was right.
And you have nothing to worry about. Nothing at all, because you're going to be tucked away in the forever house, just like we said.
Is Mum and Dad?
That's right, with your loving
These poor
mum and
fucking
dad.
kids. You evil fuck. That is effectively killing the children. That's called murder. You two are fucking murderers. And I'm concerned it might, like I said, Miles dies in the book. I am concerned
Nothing bad. Nothing bad, I promise you that.
that if this is gonna
There's nothing
work on Miles,
I'm going to
but
the
Flora
third
will be
house.
saved.
My
If Rebecca, having been tricked exactly this way by him before, fully believes him, right the fuck now, she's the dumbest person on the face of the fucking earth.
It's you.
I need somebody to walk into this attic right now and save these children.
it's us.
And again, this is what I was afraid of. Now we have this romantic couple obsessed with each other in these two prepubescent siblings' bodies.
So strange.
No, thank you. Please save me. No, thank you.
Do you feel that?
Ugh.
Hannah, you beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm surprised for you. Would you come with me?
All right, but where are we going?
Girl, I need you to figure out immediately that this little boy killed you. Because I don't know if he can kill you again, but he's certainly going to try.
Where are we going?
You know,
Oh, he's probably going to show you your body.
Wile E. Coyote, remember those? It would happen all the time. You'd run off a cliff. Run straight off it. And he'd keep on going.
And then he'd only fall when he
That's you.
realized.
That's who you remind me of.
That's the
Hannah.
same as the doll.
You just
He could hold the doll as long as he wasn't
kept going.
interacting with the idea that he was dead. And she can only go around and touch things and change
What on earth are you going
because
on
she's
about?
not interacting with the idea that she's dead. So he's trying to get rid of you by forcing you to look at your fucking corpse. Which, I don't know how long Danny's been here, but I don't think you're going to be looking too good down there.
I have gotten so sick of watching you.
Yeah, see, this is exactly it. He's a fucking abuser. All he cares about is the control.
You need to look down.
Great, now something horrible is going to happen to her. Fuck.
Meet me.
Wow, rude? I truly, really
Miles is
hope.
gone. Flora might be too. And there's nothing I can do about it because
No, 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 no. Go right back into the. No, 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 I need you to not. No, I need you to go right back into that denial. Scoot right back into denial. Great. This can't be good.
How did I do?
You did very well.
She told me to pretend.
Good. Thank goodness.
See
Jesus
how you will.
Christ.
It's too late. It's too late, but not for her. Get her away from here. You get her as far away from this house as you possibly can.
We got 2 episodes left, so I don't know that that's gonna work.
What about Miles? It's okay. Okay.
So Rebecca did genuinely help Miles get fucking murdered.
Anywhere.
There's nothing you could have done to stop the other ghost?
I'm not leaving! Flora! And you can't make me!
Yeah we can. You're 8 years old. Pick her ass up. Great. Perfect moment. Well. Oh my god. That was so upsetting. Every bit of that. And Rebecca not killing Flora isn't like... I mean, good job. Not killing a child. But you still helped him trick Miles into committing, like, I don't know, spiritual suicide via ghost? What the... Girl, what the entire hell? And now Danny's probably dead. And we still don't know what this thing in the lake is. Which is very interesting because I don't know how that matches up. I don't know how. Peter is talking about the faceless ghosts as being like tucked away into their dreams permanently. I think that's how he kind of said it. And like part of that is that their face decays away, and then like I don't know, potentially eventually the rest of them. But the faceless ghosts aren't like completely dormant. they're still capable of interacting. Like the doll-faced one is at least intelligent enough to move the dolls around. The one in the lake is both intelligent and lethal enough to have killed Peter, now quite probably have killed Danny, may have killed other people in the past. Huh? So I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what to do with that. I already talked about it a ton. I didn't need a Peter Quint backstory, is I guess where I'm at. When you show me a real or fictional abuser, you don't need to show me that, oh, they're sympathetic because they were abused. That's not how that works. An abuser doesn't become sympathetic by virtue of having been abused. I am not aware of any abuser to ever live who was not abused themselves. That's how that happens. When you're modeled horrific behavior, you learn horrific behavior, and then you perpetrate horrific behavior. And then, so, no degree of big reveal about, oh, he was actually abused. That doesn't sway me in any direction, like, at all. Yes, that's what I assumed. The specific details of he was sexually abused, and his mother knew and enabled it to happen, also to probably other kids, potentially including his friends. That is something, at least, but it doesn't prompt any more sympathy from me anyway. I mean, especially since there doesn't seem to be that element, especially since it doesn't seem to be that he's perpetrating that behavior as well. It seems like the children haven't been molested. It's just that he was raised by an extraordinarily abusive person, and so he went on to be abusive in a different way and probably perceives himself as a better person than his abuser because he's not as bad. Which, fun fact, that's not how that works. I got that speech a lot. Imagine if you had to deal with my dad instead of me. I don't care. I don't give a single solitary fuck. I don't care what happened to you. If you are abusing people, I don't care. I don't care about your motives. I don't care about your intentions. None of that shit matters. What matters is the effect your actions are having. You are inflicting harm, and if you're doing that without realizing it, I at least have a little bit of grace for you. So maybe you could realize what you've done and then grow and move on. Atone for what you did. But he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's done. He's continuing to do it. He has no remorse at all. The only thing that he seems to have done is to come to a realization of why he's specifically coming back to one particular memory. And at the end of the day, it seems like he's coming back to that particular memory, not because he wants to learn from it, but because it's the thing that got him ultimately killed. Which, again, I don't have any sympathy for. That is 100% selfish. This thing with Miles is 100% selfish. Not leaving Rebecca, I guarantee, is also 100% selfish. If she had been alive and he could have left the grounds, I guarantee he'd have fucked off as his ghostly self, and he never would have interacted with her ever again. Instead, he threw a tantrum and he fucking killed her. And now he's probably going to end up doing the same thing to Miles. And so now we've got Hannah. Peter as Miles has killed Hannah. Now Peter as Miles has shaken her ghost to the point, I mean, it's practically killing her again. Hannah will probably no longer be of any use to us. Who knows how fast her ghost is going to deteriorate. We will probably never get to see her interact with, well, maybe. We might get to see her interact with Owen again, but now it's going to have to be from the perspective of exactly what we just saw between Rebecca and Peter. Like, we can't physically interact, and it comes with the terror of knowing that we're going to be decaying away, and you can't leave. There's nothing you can do about it. So I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know. And I really wasn't, if Dani is dead, which I don't know how we could possibly get out of it, I really wasn't expecting her to die at the end of episode 7. And I don't know where we go from here. Mostly I'm deeply disappointed that she didn't just lift Flora up. Flora is an 8-year-old girl. She can't, she weighs 60 pounds? In an emergency, I can pick up a 60-pound child and run away. That was an emergency. She's much taller than me. I imagine she can probably carry more weight than I can. Pick up the child, get the fuck out. If she had actually picked her up and just run, she probably wouldn't be dead now. Instead, she's like arguing with a little girl. No, I'm sorry, this is not your time, little girl. This is a time when adults are going to be making decisions, because your decisions led to you almost being dead. Which is why, when Jamie just picked Flora up and left, thank you, an adult, finally. And Dani just doesn't seem to have that in her, despite all her talking about how she was a teacher, and if it was just 2 children, she could give them the time and energy that they deserve. Clearly that's not the case, and I'm not terribly surprised. Disappointed, but not surprised. So God, that was an infuriating episode from beginning to end. Not in like a bad, I didn't enjoy it kind of way, but just like everybody was making the stupidest decisions. Not in a writing perspective, but just like these characters are being dumb. Like everything that they're doing makes sense based upon what we know of them, but holy shit, do I wish every single one of them had made different decisions than the one that they made. Except for the last little bit of Rebecca at the end, sparing Flora, is just about the only thing Rebecca seems to have ever done right. Which again is also infuriating. And the idea that she couldn't have done something to help Miles is just ludicrous, and I refuse to believe it. And I'm angry. I'm angry. So I am going to try to watch the episode 8. I'm going to try to watch episode 8 in a few hours. I have to go. The dog is very bored and very sad. I said in one of the previous ones, he tore his ACL last week, so he's very bored. So I'm going to go sit with him for a while. And then I'll be back, and I'm going to watch episode 8. And I think at this point, my prediction is going to be that episode 8, in the same way that in Hill House, the penultimate episode revolved around Olivia and her backstory, I imagine that episode 8 of Bly Manor is going to be the backstory of our spooky ghost woman here, our lake lady. I imagine we're going to find out where she comes from, who she is. My prediction is still that she's the person whose grave robbing Flora took in the chapel. Violet, something like that. I'm assuming we're going to get to know who she is, what she's doing. Can she be stopped? What are her motives? Would stopping her help anything for the ghosts, or would it only help make things safer for the living? I don't know. I don't really have any concrete predictions for like who she was, other than potentially Viola. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to... I don't know if it's going to turn out she's like a witch, or she was possessed by something, or what. Just a very... she died and just the sheer force of her hatred did something to Bly, or I don't know, or if something was done to Bly specifically to trap her there. I don't know. I'm really interested in finding out. I've been waiting 8 episodes to find out what this ghost deal is, and I'm so desperate to know what it is. I can't watch it this second, so I will be back in a few hours to watch that. In any case, I gotta go. I really enjoyed this, even though it made me fucking furious throughout the entire fucking thing. Still, a good story, even infuriatingly told. It's still fun. So I will be back with the next one as soon as I physically can. All right.